Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we analyze MSTR, the strategy stock. Now, previously it was known as MicroStrategy, now known as Strategy Inc. It's essentially a Bitcoin-based treasury-related stock. Now, whatever they do with their Bitcoin purchases gets reflected in their stock price. Again, it's a correlated stock on Bitcoin. Just to summarize, they hold about 850,000, roughly speaking, Bitcoin at that average price, $75,000. Now the price of Bitcoin is at or near the average price of MSTR. So that's where the price has been. Again, at this point, the reason that we are making the video is that the price has now corrected back below the 200-week simple moving average. The blue line over here is the 200-week simple moving average, and these 200 weeks make a lot of sense now that they started buying Bitcoin on their balance sheet starting in August 2020. You can check it out on their filings on this website called as strategy.com. This is I think their own website, and then they have these purchases that they have made thus far. And again, they can check you can check the history about their purchases on this analytics portal under the purchases tabs over here. The purchases tab, starting again, you can see over here, the first purchase was 8/10/2020, that is August 10th 2020. They bought about 21,000 bitcoins over there. Now it has grown to about roughly speaking 850. The average price is 75,700. Bitcoin's price is slightly lower than that. So that's why, again, you can see from this perspective, if you check MSTR price, the market cap of MSTR is roughly speaking 54 billion. The enterprise value is slightly higher because of their debts and everything. But you can see the Bitcoin reserve that they have on their balance sheet is 63 billion, whereas the market cap is 54 billion. I know due to enterprise value, this MNAV calculation has changed. It's positive 20% premium. Nonetheless, just from purely the comparison between the market cap and the reserves that they hold, at least from that perspective, this is again slightly higher than the reserves are slightly higher than their market cap, again, because enterprise valuation includes, apart from market cap, that is basic shares of MSTR, is the total debt and total preferred minus the cash balance. So where we go from here, again, this is again my own website, cryptoweeklies.com, link on the bottom of your screen. We just changed a few things about the UI, as well as added a few chatbot LLM based chatbot. So we'll start with this localized LLM based chatbot on MSTR. So let's say give me everything on MSTR. Let's say this is trained on all of my historical videos to scope out any alpha. So this is the information that this model puts forward. Again, I know some of it might be stale because we don't update the price action at a daily level. We take a weekly snapshot, and each time we make video, you can see that over here the 200-week simple moving average back then, again, the last video was made a week ago, was $155. That was the 200-week simple moving average. Now it has climbed to 256, and the price is lower than that. The 300-week is close enough to 120, which is again the case. The green line over here is the 300-week simple moving average. The regression based fair value is at around $430. We'll look at this model. Regression score is also available on that model. We'll look at that model shortly. And then the machine learning based panic scenarios, such as the $100 to $105, that's the worst case double bottom scenario. The non-panic scenario at 220, which is the 300-week simple moving average. That is the base case of the machine learning model. And the upside resistance, as mentioned previously, the 1.618 at $201. This price action did go to that level, $201, and before that, and then came correcting down. Now the price is close enough to both the 200-week simple moving average as well as the 20-week simple moving average, which is at around $149. If the price were to go and fall below the 20-week simple moving average, the next level to watch is $130. That was the 2021 high. And if anything worse happens, then the 0.786 fib level is at around $105. So those are the areas to look for. Now we'll again you can check where the data was sourced from for this LLM based output is actually the uh, ETFs and proxies related analysis that we have over here. You can see MSTR in terms of, we'll start with the regression model, the DCA or the regression model says this fair value is around $430, which we just saw in the LLM output. The risk levels again per this mathematically derived fair value of the MSTR stocks since they started buying Bitcoin. This is August 2020, August 3, 2020. I mean the week of that first Bitcoin purchase. And whenever this risk level is between 0 and 0.1, or this purple color over here, that is, those are the times where the stock has experienced a very very much of an undervaluation from that fair value perspective, as well as the bottom regression one standard deviation dotted green line perspective, as and when the price comes close to this green line like it did in February 2026 as well as in April 2026. Those levels historically have been great buy zones. Again, not financial advice. These models do have 5 years worth of data, but that doesn't mean that if let's say there is some one-off event, that doesn't mean that the green line has to forever hold as support. There might be some undervaluation from the green line as well. That's just one standard deviation residual bottom. If there is much further panic, the price might drop below this $124 level, which is the support level from the green line perspective, the one standard deviation regression perspective. Nonetheless, at these points, just looking at its own historical price action and trying to mathematically derive what is a fair value for a stock based on its own historical price action is a better indicator from technical perspective, rather than going and doing some extrapolated analysis. So the fair value stands at around $433 as of today. That doesn't mean that the fair value has to always be at this level. This is a mathematically derived fair value. It adjusts based on the price action. So if let's say tomorrow the price of MSTR goes to $1,000, the fair value would need to adjust itself. If it goes to $100, the fair value might go down slightly. So that's the first model, and this model suggests that the MSTR is in that accumulation territory as the price action is in that risk level 0 to 0.1. That is the risk level 1, where typically the bear market bottoms occur like they did back in 2022 and stayed in that undervaluation zone all the way through February 2024. The other model, the other major model for MSTR is the machine learning based price analysis. If we go and try to analyze what is a non-panic floor for MSTR, if as it corrects, right now it's in the correction zone. Let's say if we get a non-panic scenario for the next 3 months, if the bottom for MSTR is in August 2026, the non-panic floor is at around $103. And we will analyze this bear market from the last bear market using monthly candles. In the last time around, again, the price dropped about 90% from the prior cycle's peak. This time around, the drop have been 80-81%. I'm imagining this time the drops would be less severe as volatility to the upside goes down, volatility to downside also goes down for an asset. And in terms of the monthly candles, these are the monthly momentum candles. You can see from right through December 2021 till January 2023, there were 13 candles, out of which 12 were negative. This phenomena over here started in August 2025 itself. So let's say till September 2026, that phenomena lasts, where couple of candles become stay positive, the rest are negative. So for example, for this candle, the current monthly candle, to stay positive, the price has to stay above $146, roughly speaking, in the next 3 to 4 days of the month of May. So where we go from here largely depends on what Bitcoin does. Again, MSTR is highly correlated with Bitcoin, but if we have a longer term outlook for this stock, where the projections for 2026, the floor for 2026 is $124. This is a very tuned out, zoomed out model. It doesn't care about intraday volatility. This is looking 1 year at a time and using compound annual growth rate based projections and simulation of a bear market bottom of 50% correction. This model estimates 2029 again with a euphoria peak at around 380, 2033 600 roughly speaking, 2037 880, 2041 $1,400 for MSTR. This is very conservative estimation of what the bull case for MSTR would be. The optimistic is at around 420 for 2029, 2033 about 623, 2037 920, and 2041 at about 1400. Again, this uber bull case assumes that the bear market would be also very severe. So for example, 60% decline every bear market. We'll have to fix this going forward, as if the volatility gets diminished to the downside, the bear market declines would start looking less and less severe. So for now, in the short term, again, if there is a 3 to 4 years recovery, the bull case for MSTR is, at least from here, it's close enough to 3x. With all of that, hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.